So what I thought would be a very lovely idea is to do a 3 minute mind and body connection practice to bring us in the here and now, which is what mindfulness is all about, with kindness. So losing that judgment, take it away, take it away, and recognizing when our minds want to wander and take us on to the next thing or ruminating about the past. We're just going to settle into our bodies and reconnect with how we're feeling in the here and now. It's powerful, mindfulness, but it takes practice for our minds to be. So arriving where we are and settling into this space.
How do you maintain positivity? The next one is, I don't really know if this is similar, but tips for a positive mindset. I tend to overthink a lot of the time.
Okay. Hello, and it's lovely to be here today with you, Katie. Thank you for inviting me here on Zoom, live on Zoom, and also developing the lovely human that you are and taking on some mindfulness and wellness elements that you've taken on board. We've talked about social media, we've talked about TV and eating and drinking mindfully. We've talked about time management and practicing mindfulness. I really hope you found them useful. To give you a little insight towards why I'm sat here today, I was introduced to mindfulness around 7 years ago by mentors on a training course when I worked for Thomas Cook Airlines. Unfortunately, after 14 years of an amazing career, from crew to training manager, the company dissolved, and it was really at that point I knew the path that I wanted to take, one of self-development, and to study and learn about mindfulness. I also studied peer mentoring, counselling skills, mental health first aid, and the counselling skills course is not to be mixed up with a counselling qualification. It really is about those engaging those active listening skills and knowing where to signpost people should they need that extra support. I began my teacher training back in 2019, and I've learned so much about mindfulness and myself, and how to be kind and show up with self-compassion. Because as a lot of us are right now, we've got a lot of pressure on ourselves, and some of the techniques and strategies that I've learned along the way and the concepts, I really feel I found me again, really. And with continuous practice, mindfulness is a practice. It's like learning to ride a bike. It's just gone really beautiful, by the way, and I can see the sunshine and reflecting off the computer. And I adore nature, so I thought I'd just bring that in as well. So kindness is such an important element of my mindfulness practice. And I now provide introductory courses for mindfulness. I'll soon be offering a stress 8-week course. And I do one-to-ones. I've just actually finished a COVID-related session, which was a really gentle session for somebody who's just getting over the symptoms of a significant time with COVID and the kind of knock-on effects to family life. And we just did a very gentle breathing space and had a short discussion about that, and then went into a full mindfulness meditation practice. And I've created some strategies for her to take her through the rest of the week, the rest of the month, and the rest of her rehabilitation. I've also got some very exciting news about a coastal event I'm creating, which is really exciting. And like I said, mindfulness can create an umbrella of strategies and can support people through life. It's a foundation, and it connects our breath. And also, just kind of to mention, mindfulness is battered around quite a lot, and it can be very difficult to learn and practice, especially through difficult times. It's a very good idea to seek support, to see if mindfulness is right for you at that time. And it might not be that time Could be, that mindfulness just at that moment isn't right. And maybe in the future it might be. So what I thought would be a very lovely idea is to do a 3-minute mind and body connection practice to bring us in the here and now, which is what mindfulness is all about, with kindness. So losing that judgment, take it away, and recognizing when our minds want to wander and take us on to the next thing or ruminating about the past. We're just going to settle into our bodies and reconnect with how we're feeling in the here and now. It's powerful, mindfulness, but it takes practice for our minds to be. So arriving where we are and settling into this space, connecting with our bodies and possibly the sensations, allowing us to settle in the here and now. I invite everyone to take some breaths with me, and as we continue, we take a deep breath in and hold for as long as we can. And a long deep breath out. And again in and out. As our minds start to drop, mind into body. Body into ground, into gravity. Thinking about our posture, elongating our spines as we breathe into our body. Allowing the flow of the breath, the natural flow in and out. Perhaps resting our hands in a comfortable position. Down on the floor by our sides like a rag doll. Perhaps noticing our thoughts as they arrive. Notice those thoughts, take a nod to them, say hello. And yet, when you can, arriving back at the body and the breath with gentleness and kindness. Having some time to be. Be with yourself and your body. And thanking ourselves for this precious moment. Allowing gravity to pull us down and connect us to the floor and ourselves. Noticing where we feel the breath the most, perhaps. In the shoulders, the chest, or the belly. Allow the breath to nourish us. Breathing in revitalization, and as you breathe out, relax deeper and deeper in your body. From your toes, to your legs, to your hips, to your belly, to your chest and your shoulders, arms and hands, your neck and your face and your head. Breathe. This 3-minute mind and body connection is part of my daily routine. I show myself kindness in this way and self-compassion from the beginning of the day. I sometimes do this even before I open my eyes. So why not follow me in my mindfulness daily routine and all the events that we've got coming up. Mindfulness in nature, mindfulness in food, and other exciting events which I'm running. And you can follow me on Sarah Dignan 08 on all the usual channels and Beyond Wellness and Training. Thank you, Katie.
I will leave all of them down below. That was good. I like
Yeah?
that. Yeah, that was
Oh,
really good.
is it what you
I
expected
felt
or
ready
not?
to sleep then.
Really?
When I was doing that exercise, I felt like I felt that relaxed. I was like feeling ready to sleep.
Oh, babe. Oh, that's so lovely. Oh, I'm glad you did.
Right. Let me just find. Here we are. Okay, so for the next bit, I'm just going to ask you a few questions that people have asked me over on Instagram. Some of it might not be related to what you do, so if not, just give your honest opinion. Okay, so the first one is, does the law of attraction actually work?
Does it work? Who's got the answer to that? It's not something that I particularly practice, to be honest with you.
I think law of attraction is something individually, if that makes sense. Like it's not for everyone.
No. And if you practice
and I
it,
feel like everything is about what you believe in.
Of course it is. We're all individual. We all have our own fingerprints. Yeah. If it works for you and it's something that you practice daily, then that's your activity that makes you you. So believe in it.
How do you maintain positivity?
I love that question. Excellent question, whoever sent that in. Thank you. I am naturally a very, very positive person, but it does take work. And I would say part of that work is looking after me and being kind to me. And if I'm kind to myself, I can be kind and positive to others. And with that comes a whole trail of positivity and brightness. Don't get me wrong, life can be cruel, life can be mean sometimes, stress, anxiety, COVID. There really is a whole heap of elements that can be thrown at us at one time, but actually I am in control of me. There may be things trying to tear me away, but if I stick with my mindfulness practice and continue that adventure and learn every day and give myself things that make me positive, nice food, eating well, nice teas. It really helps with my positivity, starting with yourself, looking after you. But it can't, sometimes that is not easy. Sometimes it's not easy being.
I feel like sometimes things are easier said than done, aren't they?
Absolutely. It's not easy at times, but I am naturally a positive person. Glass is always half full. Even during the hard times, I do try and see the other side of the coin. And it's like flipping that coin. I sometimes find easier or sometimes find hard. And but like I said, through a continued mindfulness practice, and
like a journey, isn't it?
Yeah. Tough.
The next one is, I don't really know if this is similar, but tips for a positive mindset. I tend to overthink a lot of the time.
Okay. So practicing mindfulness, bringing mindfulness into your world. We overthink. There's the think train, one thought leads to another. We jump on it. And then that kind of jumping on a thought then creates another story and another story. And then actually you've forgotten what you started with. We have over 60,000 thoughts a day, probably over that, and at different times, COVID's probably caused a whole lot of, it's probably gone up a level. I'm not sure where that statistic's from, but I will find out about the how many thoughts we actually have a day. perhaps tips would be to begin a mindfulness journey of practicing, joining an introductory course and just learning some strategies to be with those thoughts, notice those thoughts, but actually pulling back to where you are right now. They are just thoughts. Some of them you need and some of them you don't. Hello, goodbye.
Adios.
Adios, amigo. Or some of them, you know, you might need to overthink something. You might need to learn about something that's, you know, taking up a lot of your time. You and I talked about time management. So, but always a strategy for myself is when I'm overthinking, is this mindfulness. Come back to the body, the breath, your anchor. And I can talk about anchors on another.
There was a well, I don't know if to call it a technique, but you know the little like daily tasks that you were getting me to do.
Yeah.
The first one with the 5 breaths.
Yeah. Did you feel the switch?
5 deep breaths in and out. I felt like that really, really helps, you know.
Yeah. You're switching.
You know, if I was feeling a bit like overwhelmed, especially in work when I felt like it was a bit busy and I was like, oh my God, like literally just take 2 seconds, take 5 deep breaths in and out, and then I'd feel so much better after it. So I feel like if you do feel like you are overthinking, or, you know, maybe just do that little technique to start with, and, you know, start off small and work your way up.
Absolutely. There is a natural element of those deep breaths. So the 5 deep breaths in and out, and it switches mind into body because you're automatically, you're concentrating on naturally working with your breath. And then you're thinking about what you've got going on here.
Yeah, definitely.
And continuing long 5 in, out, breathe. Feel the switch.
You definitely do. The next question is, what's a quote that you stick to?
Oh. I don't have a quote that I stick to.
No,
I don't have a quote. I live each and every day with a smile, perhaps. I don't have something that I say every morning. I use my breathing as something that I do every morning to start the day. But yeah,
I don't necessarily like say a quote, but I really truly believe in everything happens for a reason. And I definitely
say that a lot.
live by that.
I say that a lot.
I definitely live by that.
It's a good, powerful statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
To ride those, to ride waves.
I don't know if that's a quote.
Yeah, of course it's a quote. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the quote that I live by.
That's lovely, because everything does, no matter.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know, we were talking about that flipping of a coin to positivity, you know, when things are coming at you and you're like, oh gosh, and then you kind of reason with yourself, possibly overthink, like that lady or Deb was talking about before. That flipping of a coin really kind of, right, okay, reasoning. There's a reason why this has happened, because it has led me to X, Y, and Z. So yeah, that's a lovely thing to have by your side. And I will have said that many times myself, but I kind of, there's nothing in particular. I probably say lots of different things along the way. I can't pick many out. Well, I probably can pick too many out. That's my problem. Yeah. Say hello to people when you're walking down the street. You never know, it might be the only person that I've spoken to in all day. Show kindness.
I like that one.
To yourself and others and our world. Pick up your rubbish.
So how to keep positive after loss?
Well, firstly, sending you lots of love and kindness. And I really hope that you're showing yourself some kindness right now. It's a difficult time you must be going through in your family. So kind of want to invite you to take a moment to be with that. And your positivity, it will shine through when you're ready. And keeping close to yourself and being kind, showing yourself some kindness each and every day. And seeking out the pleasant if you see it, or if you don't, that's okay. And just big hugs.
What is the best way to get out of a negative funk? Not really sure what she means by that. Out of a negative funk.
Well, okay. When we are feeling negative, negativity seems to follow shortly behind it. You know, when people say, I've had bad luck today, and then they have three of them, and then people say, oh, this is my third one now, I've had enough. You know, I've had 3 lots of bad luck today. You know that kind of saying? Negativity does stick. It sticks like glue. And it's really hard to brush off, especially if you're not feeling in a positive place. So a kind of positivity, they're so far from each other, it's kind of narrowing down to bring them aligned, to be able to see the positive light shining through. You know, a pair of binoculars, you know, when you put them on and it's all blurry and you can't quite make it out.
Until your eyes adjust.
Again, mindfulness practice and knowing that actually this is the God's honest truth this morning. I wasn't feeling 100% and I was like a bit grumpy with the dogs and I didn't like the puppy and I know it was just a chain of events and nothing specific, but what followed was the noticing of how I was behaving. I was quite snappy. I was getting frustrated because I really wanted to do the pops, and actually that's not really like me. You know, I am a positive person. It takes practice, and I went out for a walk, and instead of feeling frustrated about feeling those frustrations at home and irritated, I felt irritated, but I didn't know why I felt irritated. And it might be hormones, in all honesty. It might be I've got an underactive thyroid. So it could be my thyroid conditions making me feel a little bit like that. And just irritated and a little bit negative. And I went outside and I walked the dogs and something really struck me, and it was nature. And the wind just came and just wafted my hair like whoosh.
Wafted the negativity out.
Whoosh away. And I kind of thought, how does that feel on my face? Because I was so flabbergasted by how nature had kind of slapped me in the face and gone, look how beautiful it is today. Look how beautiful it is. You know, the dogs are really happy that we've come out. And what I did is I looked at 5 positive things. 5. So the wind feels lovely on my face. The dogs seem happy that they're out. They've had a wee and a poo. That's also very positive. Very positive. The sun is trying to come out and I'm feeling re-engaged with me. And then that kind of, by the time that I'd walked to come home, I felt in a little bit of a different frame of mind. The tiredness had gone from behind my eyes and I didn't realise I had such a headache. So with those 5 things this morning, kind of brought me out. And, you know, we were talking about those binoculars.
Yeah.
So I was cloudy this morning, which I can be with a thyroid condition. And slowly but surely, things became clearer. Now, they're not crystal clear now, but I am getting there. And like today, I'm sat with you, and this is another positive thing. Keep going with the positivity, or nice things, pleasant things.
Yeah. How to control anxiety. I suffer really bad.
Okay. For a lot of people, anxiety sits in the tummy. And there's different symptoms for everybody, but there's a anxiousness, and again, suffered with it myself. That anxiousness sits in the tummy. It can make you sick, buzzing in the tummy, tense in the shoulders. I really invite you to, you know, mindfulness isn't a fix for mental health, for any symptoms, but it can help help you notice when you are beginning to get anxious, and using your breath as an anchor can be a really useful tool in breathing with that anxiety, noticing where the breath feels tender and being very gentle with yourself. And the more that you practice mindfulness and a mindfulness meditation practice, the more that you'll get to check in with yourself every day. How you doing, Katie? How's everything feeling today? Yeah, like I was this morning, was a little bit irritable, but that have led to a little bit of anxiety. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of different strategies that I can help with if that person would like to contact me. That's, like I said, this mindfulness can be difficult to practice at times. I have said it before, and it's always good to seek some guidance before starting your journey with mindfulness. However, the benefits from that, from your practice, have certainly made a difference in my life, and I can only speak from personal experience.
The next one is, you've already answered this, but it's kind of worded differently. It says, how do you overcome the negative thoughts? But I would say that that's thinking of the 5 positive things.
Yeah, it's
so you kind of already covered that.
Sitting with that negativity and noticing it, and then if you can, you know, look and seek in that pleasantness, that whether it's nature or whether you like baking, do something nice for yourself. But negativity does stick like glue. It's getting that balance of negativity and sucking up the positivity, that hopefully will make those binoculars clearer.
What helps you the most to keep positive?
Seeking the pleasant. I look and I notice every day the weather, whether it's grey or gloomy. I remember on that Monday morning, I know it's gloomy outside, Katie, but seeking that pleasure and being able to sit with myself when things aren't great. And then going, actually, I feel really comfortable this morning. I've got a nice cup of tea in my hand, and it tastes really good. It smells good, and yeah.
What makes you happy the most?
Oh, I make myself happy.
I like that answer.
I do. I'm proud of what I've achieved. I'm proud to be here with you right now, and I'm proud of what I've got coming in the future. I'm a husband and my dogs. I'm a family.
But me first.
Business. Well, if I don't look after myself, I'm not going to be able to look after anybody else.
Definitely. And they do say that happiness should come from within you first.
Yep. Health and happiness, look after you.
Definitely. The last one is, do you find this helps with keeping a good mindset and being positive?
Absolutely.
So it kind of followed on from what makes you the happiest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I do have long-term goals. I do want to achieve. I do, I have got big aspirations. However, just every day, just check in with yourself. And seek the pleasant. I forgot what the question was, to be honest. What was the question?
Yeah, and me. Hang on, I need to get back up. Do you find this helps with keeping a good mindset and being positive?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So important. Because when I'm not in practice and when, there's times where, life's been too busy and I'm like, one thing after another, paperwork, moving boxes, setting up sessions and making sure I practice and wanting to practice. Actually, sometimes I don't, but I'm like, come on, girl. Makes me notice and appreciate.
And you always feel so much better after doing it as well, don't you?
Yeah, and during it, for me, I've practiced a long time. So during it, I always try and really seek out those little things that are pleasant and yeah.
So yeah, that's all the questions. That's it.